but we just, like, you have an opportunity to react one of two ways. You can just kind of get into the whole sulking, why me? You know, I want to just be in a padded black room somewhere, you know, and just, you can go one of two ways.
And which the thoughts were there. Trust us, the thoughts were there.
Or we just were like, okay, it is what it is, and you take it and just, you know, press forward, you know. And like I said, I think the positivity runs through the family and everything. And so luckily, I think we're like, you know, it is what it is. And we look back at it now, once we found out, it brought our ward, our community together. It gave them a common goal to focus on, of like, you know, if we needed to pray, bring us meals, notes. I mean, it brought our community together, and it uplifted us. And it gave us opportunities to travel to places that we've never been to before, meet people that we are now fantastic friends with that we wouldn't have met otherwise. And I think at the beginning, you don't think about it that way, but hindsight is 2020. I mean, it opened opportunities that I wouldn't trade for the world, you know. It was an unfortunate circumstance, but I mean, like I said, Wyatt made fantastic friends in Seattle. So when he reoccurred back in March of 2019, before doing a surgery again, we had asked him, you know, for spring break, where do you want to go on vacation? Do you want to go back to Disneyland? Where do you want to go? He wanted to go back to Seattle to go visit his friends that he made while we were up there in 2018. We traveled to Memphis. He learned how to play pool. We got to know some fantastic friends and families while we were out there, you know. And so, and that way, since it was our second time around, we were able to share our experiences, our knowledge, our suggestions, you know, along the way. And like I said, it's an unfortunate circumstance for anybody to go through. But I mean, you then have a common bond with other families going through similar things. And even though it's different cancers, you know, that kind of thing, you know, you have a common goal. If you want your child to get better, you know, beat the cancer, or if you do experience loss, then you can sympathize with others along the way. So you learn, unfortunately, a lot medical terms between the different types of cancers, what recurrences are, and it hits you like a ton of bricks. But you know, unfortunately, we've become very educated, I guess you could say, along the way, and that way we can, like I said, share knowledge and experience. And like I said, we wouldn't trade it for a world, because we now have friends that we wouldn't have otherwise had. And
and I guess our perspective might be a little different when it comes to our faith, our belief that you know, we have a hope or a belief of where we came from, why we're here, and where we're going. And so for us, that brings us comfort and solace. We believe we'll see Wyatt again, and we'll be able to be together again as a family at some point. So that brings us comfort. Long term. Short term, day to day, some days are good, some days are not so good. And you know, we try and look at it as the best we can, and it's okay to have those bad days. And it's okay to have good days too. And you know, we do miss him a lot, and you know, there's things that obviously we will miss out on, but we try not to focus all of our attention on that. I mean, it's always there in our minds. It's in all of the family's minds. You know, the what ifs, the things that we may or may not be able to do. You know, our circumstances is different than everybody else's, and you know, our trial that we went through is what we could handle, and we chose to handle it. I guess that's another thing, is we could have either, like you say, locked ourselves out and said, okay, enough, and got mad at the world and mad at God and mad at everybody else, or just say, okay, this is our experience, and we need to make the best of it at the time. and that's what we've chosen to do, and that's what Wyatt chose to do. And to be quite honest, Wyatt's choosing and how he wanted to react to the situations made our lives as parents so much easier, because he would let himself think about it for just a little bit, and then he'd be like, nope, that's it, let's move on, we've got to get, let's do something else. He was always positive, even until the end. He never lost hope, but at some point along the progression, we stopped fighting against the disease, because we knew that fight was, it was over, and we started fighting for experiences and memories and everything that we could pack into those last 3 months. And we look back on it now, and it's like we didn't have 10 minutes of free time in those last couple of months, which is awesome. And we're grateful for that. We're so grateful that we have those memories. We know sometimes families don't get that, and that hurts to think about. But we're grateful that we did, and we almost feel guilty in some ways of all the experiences that we got to do with him and with others and with his friends and classmates and all that kind of stuff. So wow. I guess our advice is to don't give up hope, but sometimes we have to refocus what the fight's about. And when the disease says, okay, that part of it's done, then change the focus to making those memories. That's all we have. That's all we get at this point.